Hello, this is Nesto, Coach Nesto of UWWBB.com. I want to thank you for joining us for another end of summer check-in with a 2021 commit to Jody Wynn's UW basketball program. 6'3" sharpshooting guard Olivia Pollerd from Australia, and she is part of that Super 2021 recruiting class that'll be on campus next year. And Olivia has agreed to play 5 questions in 5 minutes so we can all get to know her better. Let's get started. When and how did Washington first contact you, and which coaches primarily recruited you?
The coaching staff started to talk to me early this year. They just sent me a message. And I think it was Derek, the first one to contact me. And then it was kind of spread out. All coaching staff messaged me. Then it kind of went on from there, continually got more messages, and it was really exciting.
Were you being recruited prior to decommitting from Duke, or was that all new?
Yeah, so I was being recruited prior. So I think they started talking to me around March of this year. Yeah, so I knew them well before I committed.
Okay.
Can you name something you learned about the UW basketball program that was important to know before you committed?
Yeah, so I think learning about the group is really important for me, seeing as I'm living in a different country and I couldn't actually go on my visit. So one thing that stood out to me was that the group seems to have really good unity. The girls are all super lovely and super talented, and the coaching staff are really amazing. So that was a big thing for me. But yeah.
You decommitted from Duke, receiving multiple scholarship offers before committing to Washington. Was there anything specific that motivated you to ultimately choose the Huskies?
Yeah, so I think for me, everything happens for a reason. But I think for me, the Huskies, there were so many things across the board that stood out for me that were really positive. But I think just the coaches themselves, the energy they bring is really awesome. The girls are super lovely, and as I said, they're all super talented. And I think one thing that's really positive for me is the UW style of play. It's really similar to some of the styles of play I've played in Australia, and I really enjoy playing that 5-out kind of style. So that was a big thing for me.
You didn't take a visit, so did you meet players as well, like say over Zoom or something like that?
So I had a lot of Zooms with the coaches, and towards the end I had a few Zooms with some of the girls. And I knew 2 of the Aussies there. I've spoken to them prior to that. But I had a call with some of the girls in my class over Zoom. And that was really good, just getting to connect with them, seeing as I haven't actually met them in person.
Because I guess you're talking about Grace Beasley and, of course, our Darcy Reese, who are both Aussies that are with the UW program. We're kind of establishing a little bit of a pipeline, which is kind of exciting. So were you familiar with them prior to, or did you just kind of get to know them and you just had a lot in common? How did that go?
Yeah, so Darcy Ree's sister, Kelsey Reese, she's been living at the Australian Institute of Sport with me. So I've been on scholarship with her for a year and a half. She just left to go to Utah, so I've been quite close with her, and I've done a couple of Oz camps with Darcy, so I kind of knew her through that. And Grace, I didn't actually know personally, but we played against each other for around 2 years in Victoria. We were rivals in Victoria, but yeah, it was good to connect with them over Zoom and a few calls as well, just to get to know them a little bit more. But yeah, I did know them prior to it.
Okay, so you knew her sister very well prior to knowing Darcy. Okay.
Yeah.
COVID made major changes to the U.S. summer basketball circuit. Did COVID cause changes in Australia, and how did you adapt at the Basketball Australia Center of Excellence?
Yeah, it really did. So I live up at the Australian Institute of Sport. I board here with 11 other girls. I've been here for around a year and a half so far. And basically we all got sent home for 2 months, period where it was kind of at its worst. So we all got sent home back to our states, and there was no access to gyms, no access to courts, anything like that. So it was very different, but I think the positives that came out of it kind of showed how well you can adapt to an environment and how creative you can be. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, it's definitely different and did affect basketball.
And that is both, is it a school as well as your sports team, or can you explain that a little bit?
For sure. So basically at the AIS, we board here. So we live like in little apartments. And then we have a dining hall, food's all provided, and then we have gym, doctors, recovery centres all on site. And there's also other sports like para athletes are living with us at the moment, prepping for Tokyo Olympics and stuff like that. We have other sports come through. And then we go to school. It's about a 5-10 minute drive from here. We just catch a bus and go to school there. So it's not actually together. They're separate, but yeah.
And this is something that you get selected for, you apply for?
Yeah, so you can't actually apply. Basically, the coaching staff, they do a really good job of recruiting girls from around Australia. So they pick, last year there was 4 girls, including myself, that got picked for the year scholarship around Australia. They pick this from like national comps and leagues you play in. They kind of watch you and they get to know you, as well as Oz camps as well. When you come through Canberra for Australian camps, they watch you there and recruit you. And basically, I got recruited at the end of 2018. I got a phone call being offered and obviously wanted to take it. It's a really good opportunity and I love it here. It's awesome.
What is the strength of your game that might be overlooked?
Obviously you're a shooter, a long distance shooter from what I've seen. So that's probably going to take most of the, or bring most of the eyes towards your game. But is there another strength that might be overlooked?
Yeah, so you kind of summed that up perfectly. I'm usually a shooter in most of my teams, but something I've been getting stronger at, and something that's kind of gone under the radar a little bit, is my driving abilities. It's something I'm getting stronger at and continuing to work on, but I think it will be cool when I really harness that skill, because then I'll have the inside-outside game and it'll be pretty cool, but yeah.
Exactly. You can set up that drive with that long shot because they're going to be running out at you. So that will be exciting.
Is there anything unrelated to basketball that you like to do?
Yeah, so I've grown up my whole life on the beach, apart from when I moved to Canberra. But one thing I really enjoy doing is snorkeling. We have a lot of reefs around near my house, so I really enjoy snorkeling, going swimming in the beach. Yeah, I guess that's probably my favorite hobby, other than basketball.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Once again, it is great for you to check in with us, and maybe we can check in with you a little bit later as the season progresses. Looking forward to you showing up on campus next year.
Yeah, thanks so much.